Happy weekend, guys. In fact, happy new month. Welcome to June. I hope it's not too late to wish everyone a happy new month. Yeah, I still Ginseng Matters with Roy, and I'm so happy to be here with you once again. Thank you very much for always tuning in, watching our videos, and I believe strongly that you've been learning one or two things from our discussions, our conversations, and today is going to be another wonderful time learning, relearning, and unlearning from uh this marriage series that we started some weeks ago. And really, I want to say a very big thank you to our guest speakers, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji, for always being there. Despite their tight schedules, they've always been there sharing their experiences with us. And today is just a continuation of the series, although we'll be starting a new, yeah, it's still the marriage series, but just a new topic entirely, which is those little things, those uh little things that causes misunderstandings between couples. And today is going to be a very interesting one because the very topic we're starting with, the very point we're starting with today is something on career. And I've discovered recently that this issue of career has been something causing a great misunderstanding between couples. And today, once again, we have our guest couple with us, very caring. They've been supportive and they've been sharing their experiences with us. Join me in welcoming this special couple back on the platform with us today, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Thank you very much, sir and ma. We really appreciate your support. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me just bring them down. Oh, we can't see your faces yet. Okay, wait. Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay, yes. we can see
Okay.
we can see your faces now. Thank you very much, sir and ma, for always who will be watching
Okay.
you for the first time today. They are meeting you for the first time. They don't know you. Maybe for their sake, please kindly introduce yourself and tell us any other thing you want them to know about you, sir and ma. Hello, sir. Hello, ma.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to be on this platform, and we are happy to be sharing with our friends. My name is Fola Bolaji, and my wife's name is Bumi. We are both based in New York,
For that,
and
sir.
she's a programmer.
Oh, wow.
We are we are doing well, and we are also learning and growing. So we are happy to be here to be sharing and be discussing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much,
Thank
sir
you.
and ma. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us on the platform today. And I trust God that today's discussion will be another wonderful time. It's going to be a practical time to learn, relearn, and unlearn. So from the flyer we have before us today, uh those things that causes misunderstandings between new couples, because I've discovered that the first 3 to 5 years of marriage most times is always the most difficult ones for couples. And today's series that we are starting today is going to be going to be looking at some of these things one by one. And today we have before us the career conflicts in marriage. For example, couples getting a man and woman getting married. Possibly the man is an engineer, the wife is a teacher, and then getting into the marriage, the man is like, okay, I want to start, I want to be a banker. And the wife is like, yeah, my plan all my life is okay, when I get married, I want to have time for my kids, I want to have time for the family. And here is the husband because he wants this kind of, oh, I want my wife to be this tech person. I want my wife to be a stay-home mom. Oh, and the wife, here is the wife. She has her own dreams. She has her plans. Well, she knows what she wants. She knows what she wants to do. So this kind of conflicting interest, or possibly the wife might be the one that is always pressing her phone. She likes to browse. She likes to check, oh, what's happening, and then getting married, the husband is always complaining, no, why should you do this? You're spending so much time on the phone. uh can't you just get serious, register for online courses, do this, get extra certificates? I wanted to do this. And then it's like the man is beginning to bug the wife, and they are always having this kind of issues in their marriages. And that's why we're having this discussion today. So I will leave the floor open over to you, Sai and Mar, uh, to share with us how couples can blend together, how they can settle amicably this issue of career conflicts in marriage.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity once again. And because I don't want to be biased, I will still ask my wife to go first. But I want to mention that this is a very broad topic because it affects almost all the other aspects of the marriage. The career that you are involved in will definitely determine how much time you will have for the home, how much time you will have for your spouse, how much time you will have for your kids. So it also determines what kind of mood we'll be finding ourselves. I remember my wife is currently working with the Cancer Research Hospital, and in a section of that hospital, they care for kids that are cancerous, kids that have terminal illness in terms of
Mm.
cancer. And it's a very difficult environment to work in because you know that you are working with kids that are going to die anytime from now.
Mm.
What kind of relationship do you want to keep with those people? How does it affect you as a human being? What kind of psychological effect it will have on you back home from work? She's actually not working in that division, but she was just sharing what kind of different divisions that they have in their hospital. There are so many things that we have to put in perspective, and there are so many things that we have to reason about when we are talking about career. But let me, as it relates to the family and husband and wife,
Okay, I'm going to I'm going to start. So, conflict in the sphere of career is common, especially because it is one of the oversights we usually have in marriage. Because we usually don't discuss, it just happens that we just usually believe that we desire to have a good future together, and that now that we are going to get married, we want to live our life in such a way that we have a better tomorrow. But the concept of what a better tomorrow means may be different from husband and wife. For somebody, their desire can be that we have a peaceful home, the kids are well fed, they are well dressed, they're given all the attention. While for another person, even when he or she wants the children to be okay, he also wants to become the director. She wants to become the vice president in her company. Like, she has had this dream even before marriage came up. So she is not thinking that becoming a vice president will have anything to do with whether the kids are going to be well taken care of or not. But when the marriage begins, it becomes real that to give the 60 hours hour job to become the vice president will not merge, or will not really agree with taking care of kids, making sure they are well dressed, giving them all the time and care and attention that they deserve. So eventually it becomes like a conflict. Like, I have a lot of things to do. I'm running crazy. The kids needs to conform. Like, it becomes something that even the kids are going to have needs to come together, because it starts bringing up conflicts that should not be. And that is where we start talking about how do we want to resolve this career. So we resolve these conflicts in the area of career. And for some people, it will be easy to say, why should it even become a problem? I remember I was listening to a broadcast recently, and the woman that was interviewed, when they were talking about maybe your husband say you should not work, what should you do? And the woman was like, when did that become a conversation? Like, whether I should work or not. Like, because for her, the perspective she's coming from is the woman was working, she should work and continue to work. Like, there's no reason why you should start saying your wife should sit at home. That is seen as a form of abuse. While that can be an abuse, in some other circumstances, it may not be abuse. It may just be that now there's a conflict between the kind of expectation the husband has. So in cases, the husband is like, my wife should have time for the kids. I will do my best to provide everything we need in the home. Which, if you will look at it, it's not that the wife is suffering. But in a situation where the wife derives pleasure in going to the office, in relating with other people, in having that sense of achievement, then it becomes difficult, because the wife is like, you are taking away a part of me. So I've been on both sides before, and I'm going to share from my experience. I was working as a teacher at a time. I was working as a teacher before we got married. So after we got married, I continued to work as a teacher. I wasn't earning as much as my husband was earning. I go out to work, I relate with people, we chat and talk and all of those things. And I was pursuing my degree. So it came to a point that um, the reason for my husband recommending that I resign was not even because of the kids. It was because the liability at work is for me to bear. There was a time I became so sick that I wanted to take my bath and I couldn't stand up taking my bath.
Oh my
I had to
God.
sit down, and I was bathing, sitting down, preparing to go for work, to go to my place of work. And my husband was, are you sure you're all right? Like, upright to bath. Now you want to go to work and go and stand before students to do what, and stuff like that. And why was I going to work? It's because at my place of work, they will not really understand that I need to take all this time off. So it's difficult for me to say, oh, I'm going off for a week, or I'm going off for 2 weeks, even when I know that I was not feeling fine. So because of that, career, my husband recommended that I resign. Now, even when this resignation is for my own good, I found it hard to resign. And the reason why I found it hard to resign was I was thinking, what will I be doing at home?
At home.
Will I just sit at home? Or, like, it became a struggle of what is my life outside work, outside going to my place of work? What life do I have outside that? And I believe that, that is a point that we need to, each person as individuals need to look at, what are my values, what are my drive, what makes me happy, what are the things that I do, what do I achieve, or what do I gain from the work I'm doing. So it is not just about the money, it is not just about whatever thing every other person sees it. And when I was able to answer that question, it became very easy for me to resign and go back home. And, well, I did not fully go back home to be a full-time housewife, but I took up a job duty that gave me time to do my own things at my own convenience.
Convenience.
So the matter of conflict, man and wife should sit down together to look at what values are important, and how do we address it. So I'm going to wrap up because I know I've spoken for a while. But before I wrap up, I want to say that whichever stage you are, whether you are looking at a situation of, will I stop my work, will I need to change whatever thing my aspiration is, so that our family can grow together, I want to say that, let us not look at the second person with the first tie of, we are talking your marriage, you are talking your job. Now, for some people, it can appear as if, are you that goal driven? But I believe that let us have respect for each other's perspective so that we are able to come together to reconcile what the real value behind those perspectives are and address how to solve that problem.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a discussion. Um, I want to start by saying the issue of career and family gets difficult over time. When you are single, you decide to do things for yourself. You don't need to take permission from anybody. You may decide to come home at 11 p.m. You may decide to come home at 6 p.m. But when you are married, then you are in a relationship that requires accountability. So then you cannot just do anything you like. When you are single, you may be going on the street and you see roasted corn and you decide to buy. And when you eat roasted corn, your stomach is filled and you're fine for the whole of the evening. But when you are married, you are not really permitted. Just think for yourself and think that if I buy roasted corn, I'm fine. What about your spouse? So you need to think for two people. Whether you're a male or a female, you need to think for two people. So that really goes deeper when children now begins to come in. So now, one of those things that we need to figure out, even before marriage, is the kind of career that you are choosing. But because I know my strength and I know my ability, I know that it will be difficult for me to get married to somebody that is in the medical profession, especially medical doctors and nurses. Because if care is not taken, if I don't have enough ability to improve on my weaknesses, then we will have a lot of frictions going down in the lane. Because there'll be time that medical doctors will be asked to come, they will be on roster. What do they call?
Call.
They will be on call, and they may be away for almost 2 days sometime. And if they are away for almost 2 days, I may not be able to take care of all the responsibilities at home based on my weakness, which can be improved, but which I'm sure that it may not get improved to 100%. So then I'm not actually going to somebody in that line, except if God insisted that that is this person I wanted to marry. But one thing I want to call our attention to, we have discussed this, is about agreement in relationship, being having the same focus, having the same mind. Two people are joining together so that they can grow together to become who God wants them to be. There are so many factors that may begin to come and affect that intention of God for your life. But if two are joining, then you should be better. You should be able to help one another to achieve the same goal. The reason why we are marrying is not because I want her to come and help me in my career, in my ambition, in my self ambition. She's not getting married to me because she felt that, oh, that thing that I want to achieve. If he gets married to me, then I will easily achieve it without him pursuing his own goal. So when you are getting married to so many goals, you are joining materials, you are joining minds, and you are joining your future. You are throwing all your eggs in the same basket, and they are going to be driven towards the same goal. One of the reasons why people even get in marriage is money. That's one of the major reasons. Okay, the husband is making 100,000, the wife is making, let's say, 150,000 a month in terms of naira, for example. And then they are not doing joint accounting. So the wife says, I want to buy Benz. I just take a loan and buy Benz. The husband is managing with, let's say, Hyundai. And they are like, oh, You are using Benz, the husband is using Hyundai, and they begin to judge who is doing better, who is not doing better based on the environmental contribution, family, friends, and things like that. Those are the things that may begin to bring issues. But if the husband and wife agrees together that some of this money we are pulling resources together, and okay, can we buy this kind of car and use it together for a while? After some time, if we are able to afford another one, we decide together which one should we buy, and then we buy. And they are both family vehicles. The husband can decide to take this today and take that tomorrow. The wife can decide to take this today and take that tomorrow. Not this is daddy's car. This is mommy's car. Things should be joined together. I should feel that, okay, if we have a van, which is bigger, maybe Toyota Sienna, or we have a Toyota Highlander, or any kind of big car, and maybe my wife is the one that is dropping kids off in school, and I'm not doing that. I can't say, oh yeah, Shibi, you're just dropping kids off. Yeah, you can take the smaller one
No.
because I want to look big and look like the father and the big man of the house. Then I want to be taking the Toyota Sienna
Mm.
to office. So that is showing that there is not much of agreement. It's much about ego. So that is about finances and income. But then, in terms of career, think about the career that will make it easy for you to be able to handle things at home. Because my wife does most of the cooking, one of those things that we agree on, my wife started. The reason why I said she should even start the discussion is she has changed careers over time.
Wow.
She was a teacher as husband and wife. This thing cannot work for you. This thing cannot work for me. This thing cannot work for us. Now let's sacrifice. Let's forgo your income for some time. Let's manage with my income. And then let's decide what will make you to be well placed in the future. What will give you a sense of achievement. What will move our family forward. And then what will help our children along the line. So let's see, let's agree together. Since your income at that time is lesser than my income, okay, let's forgo that your income and stay on the bigger income and then replan. And then she mentioned that then when she was teaching, she was on a master's degree, and then we decided, okay, stop. Then she went on the second master's degree, and then she began to learn some skills. She began to do some computing work, and she began to improve, and many things changed. So then, when she was to enroll for her PhD, I was also on my PhD at that time, and we have kids. We have two kids then, and we are like, okay, you have been in the chemistry line. Chemistry requires a lot of practicals in the laboratory, and we are like, okay, if you are going to have PhD in chemistry, then you will need to spend hours upon hours in the
No.
laboratory.
Mm.
How is that going to impact us as a family? Let's down about, okay, apart from chemistry, do you have any other opportunity to do PhD in another thing that you like? And yes, we figured out that, oh, she likes computing as well. Okay, let's try PhD in computing because we don't want to wait. We are like, okay, things can be done together much, but because we are changing environment, we don't want a situation where she will be idle, waiting for her husband to graduate before she enrolls. We don't want that situation. We feel we should be able to manage things and cope. And then she enrolled in PhD. We decided, how are we going to be handling the kids in the evening, because there are so many homeworks, there are so many things that we have to do. And then we put it on a rotation that I will stay with the kids today, she will go to class in the evening to go and do her homework, to have extra time to study. Then we are rotating and we are shifting just like that, and we graduated. And because where we are located, we are thinking about our career. What of if I get job in another state and she has job in another state? Because we don't want to have a family where the father will be a weekend dad or once in a month dad. So we decided that, okay, let there be sacrifices. So I decided to intentionally delay my graduation towards the time she will graduate, and we ended up graduating the same day, the same year.
Wow.
So when we graduated, then it helps us to figure out where we are going to settle based on the job she gets and the job I get. So there are so many flexibilities that has to come into play in family when it comes to career. Husband and wife should be able to agree together, sit down. What will favor our family? What will favor my family? What will favor our family? And what will favor us together as families? What will help us to be well bonded? What will help us to be able to share ideas together? What will help us to be able to rub minds together? It should not be based on this is what I've always decided I want to be since when I was a kid. Whether it works for the family or not, this is what I'm pursuing. If you take that stand and your partner is taking that stand, then at the end of the day, you are all going to suffer. We have seen many people that are divorced because they are individually pursuing their individual goals. They are not able to come to agreement. Actually, our career, our job is about two things, like she mentioned the other time. Number one, adding value to your family, getting income that will help you to sustain the family and to manage your family and to do so many other things. Number two, adding value to the society or to some other people. So your job is adding value to you, adding financial value, adding professional value, adding a sense of achievement value to you as a person. And then your job is going to add value to other people. You are contributing in your company, you are values to other people. So you have to be able to weigh it. If you are to add values to yourself and add value to other people, how much of it is affecting your family balance? How much of it is affecting the how balanced your family is? So all this has to be weighed, and then you should be able to agree with your husband or your wife. This income is coming in not for me, but for the family. That income is coming in not just for me, but for the family. So then it will be able to see from the same perspective that you are not running to make money for yourself. You are not, he's not running to make money for himself. He's doing all what he's doing to make money for the family. And you have equal access to those income. And that will make it a lot easier when we are talking about career.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's really a massive one. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ify. Thanks for joining today. She's like, oh, wow. I think maybe when you were talking about the graduating the same day. Wow, wow, wow. It really takes, like you said, mutual understanding between couples to be able to figure this issue of career out in a marriage relationship. Yeah, thank you very much, Sain Ma, for this wonderful contribution. Now, for example, the husband uh is the how do I put it? For example, the husband is someone.
Breadwinner.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, the husband might be yes, the husband is the breadwinner, and then here is the wife. The wife is not so learned, the so educated. There are examples like that where the husband is the educated one, and here is the wife. Maybe she stopped her education at secondary school level, and she's not so skilled like okay computer stuffs, and the man, the husband, be the breadwinner, went to the university, had his master's degree, had his PhD degree, even before, had his PhD before getting married. And now, getting married, now, during the courtship, he's not seeing the wife as being inferior to him. But then, getting into the marriage, that's when his eyes got open. Wow, for crying out loud, why did I get married to this woman? She doesn't know how to operate the computer. She doesn't know how to do this. She doesn't know how to do this. And all of a sudden, from nowhere, he wants the wife to be you. What's you don't know anything. Ah, I can't believe you don't even know how to type, you don't know how to operate the computer. Okay, maybe you should just go back to school. Oh my god. Like this kind of a situation. And then the wife, she started becoming inferior. She's feeling so inferior to the husband, and yet the husband is expecting her to, like, just get out of your comfort zone. I want you to do this. I want you to be this. Look at this person. Look at this person. Just, you might not even be mentioning it, but always telling the wife, I want you to be able to do this. What do you know? I can't believe you even went to secondary school. What do you know? And then she's so sad, she's so unhappy, and this is always bringing conflict between this husband and the wife. In a situation like this, how will you advise the husband? How will you advise the wife? How can they settle amicably? How can they come to a forward and use this kind of conflict in their marriage? If he said she should
Maybe,
learn.
maybe maybe I should start.
All right, sir.
And I need to start with this question. I hope the wife did not charm the husband in the first instance. I'm just I'm just kidding. So let's start from this sense. There are so many situations and there are so many families that are in this situation. And the reality is, number one, a family needs a mentor, at least a mentor, which is very, very important. Number two, we have to be able to reason and understand where everybody is coming from. There are some people that have the opportunities that they needed when they were young. Their family, let's face the reality. Let's face the reality. Every one of us, we are products of circumstances that brought us up. We are all products of circumstances that brought us up. When we are talking about a family where the father or the mother is so sickly that they are spending a lot of money on hospital bills and medical bills, and the resources, financial resources of the family is so down, how do you expect such family to be able to buy a lot of textbooks for the kids, or to be able to register the kids in extra academic training? Or how do you expect such kids to have more opportunity than people that don't have such situation? So we all have different backgrounds. We need to first of all understand the background from which our spouse are coming from. Do they have the opportunities and they did not use it? Or do they have opportunities, they used it, but they are not so gifted in terms of academic ability? We need to be able to reason it out. Let's go backward and check it from the foundation. There's always a foundation to everything. There's always a foundation to everything. So when I've decided to marry her as my wife, then I've decided to take her in terms of the advantages I can get from her, the benefits, and then the liabilities. If that, do I need to face it or begin to fight over those disadvantages? No. We need to join hands together and work together to make sure that she gets to the level where she will also be happy. Because it's not a good thing in a relationship if one side is happy and the other one is sad. So we need to understand, is it that the wife is lazy and she doesn't want to learn? Is she that she has some deficiency that maybe by prayer and by extra work she can get to where she needs to be? We need to first of all reason together as husband and wife, not just putting blames.
Wow. Yeah, network. Wow. We lost him, and I- oh my god, if he's saying some don't want to learn. Okay. Some don't want to learn. Thank you so much, Ify, for your contributions, for our guest speakers to connect with us in a short time. Yeah. Yeah, actually, this issue of career in marriage, career conflict in marriage has been something that has been as is really a great issue with some families, especially newly married couples. Oh, they're back. Okay.
Let me try another
All
means.
right. Oh, you're welcome back, Sai and Ma.
Okay, I think she.
Okay. Welcome back, Sai and Ma.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We can hear you now. Oh, oh, still trying to connect them. Okay.
Hello, is it better?
Yes, it's fine now, sir.
Okay, so sorry, I have to change the device
Oh,
because
it's
there
fine.
was an. So please, let's just note it that way that there are reasons why some people cannot improve. There are some reasons why they can improve. All we needed, or all everybody need, is an enabling environment. So the
Mm,
fact is, okay, my wife did not have the opportunity to go to school, and she stopped at primary school, and I loved her, and I married
mm.
her. What I have to say is love overlook multitude of sins. Let's now say I really love her, then I should be willing to help her to improve if I really love her. And another perspective I want to add to it is even let's say she has all the degree in the world and I get married to her and she has all the good career. Something happens, maybe she was involved in an accident and she lost her eyes or she lost her limbs or she
Mm.
became disabled. Does that mean she's a liability now? I don't want to marry anymore. I don't. So is it about selfish reasons? Is it about selfish reasons that I'm married to her or about love? So all of those things have to be in better perspective. So being a breadwinner or having higher income today does not mean that you always have higher income tomorrow. And let me round up with this statement. When we started in our relationship, I had a very good income than my wife. And we are both working together. We are like, we are not going to stay. We both continue to drive ourselves. We are driving one another. Oh, do this exam, do this certification. As I'm doing it, she's also doing it. As I'm doing masters, she's also doing masters. As I'm going for PhD, she's going for PhD. We are growing together. And eventually, currently, as she's sitting, she can pay me because she has higher income than I do.
Wow.
But the issue is that husband and wife, she may have higher income than I do, but I control the. So note that also. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not about what level the wife or the husband is operating. It's about what is the goal. Are we
Mm,
planning to move ahead? Are we driving one another? Are we trying to make A to achieve his aim, making B to achieve her aim, not just killing one person's aim and feeling or feeding another person's aim? Okay, let's.
Okay, I want to make some quick contributions because it's very easy the way my husband was saying it. The perspective that is coming from or the way he's talking about it is very easy for people who have a kind of similar IQ or similar way of perceiving something. Now, and I want to say that the first thing I want to say that as husband and wife, let us work hard. Marriage should not be judgmental. It should be where we can communicate our weaknesses and strength safely. Now, does it mean that a marriage where they have different IQs cannot work? No. A marriage where they have different IQs can still work. Because don't forget that when we are talking IQ, most of the time we are talking about how the person can learn education. but it doesn't have all to do with wisdom. Now, what a man or woman can bring to the table is beyond passing mathematics. And one of the things he said that I want to bring us back to is having a mentor in our relationship. Our marriage should have people that we can, as we are talking, we have friends who are facing a serious challenge of the husband is looking at this bright future. He don't want to move from this our circumstances is fine. That is a serious challenge where the wife is satisfied, but the husband has passion for more. In some situations, it is the wife that has passion for more. She's thinking we can go to this level, we can become this, we can try this. And the husband is the type that is the way we are. And all of these things is bordered around career and professionalism. But you see, like he said, mentor, when we have people that are brooding over us, people that we relate with, and we have a safe environment in our marriage, we'll be able to communicate better. So can we come from the perspective of the better tomorrow we are actually working towards is not about you and me, it is about our kids. Now when we look at it from that point of view, can husband and wife reach an agreement of the reason why they need to become better? Now I want to give an example. When I was still teaching in a secondary school, I know the kinds of people that I relate with. Like my husband said, we grow up with, we become an output of our inherited abilities and the ones that the environment has given us. And so you see somebody that is very brilliant, but because they grew up among people who don't even have any career goals, if you ask them what do they want to do, the person is not even thinking about what career because she is just not seeing it. Now, another person came from a situation where my dad is a doctor, mommy is something. Well, I didn't grow up in that kind of situation. Of course, my dad was an accountant, but my mom was not educated. No, but that did not stop my family from providing a very good education for us. Now, with a very good education, we became ambitious. We had desires. We saw a better tomorrow. Now, I found myself in a profession where are contented with little money. I don't want to go too explicit, but I took up a job and I saw a former colleague telling me that, oh, where you are working now is like the peak for everybody. Like that is our vision and ambition.
Wow.
And for me, it's like, for crying out loud, I'm still working as a teacher in a low class private school. And for this person, have achieved, I'm high up there. Now, for me, I am not up anywhere. The difference is in what we both saw. And let's assume I'm married to that man. He would feel that, oh, my wife has achieved now. My wife is doing quite well. But in terms of career development, I don't think that I've seen it. Now, for people in that situation, one of the things that have worked from our experiences with people and stores, I'm going to share it now. There's a particular book. The PDF is online. If you can find it, it's a great resource for anybody who is trying to look for what is value. And the title of the book is Strength Finder. So if you think you're in a relationship where you are intimidated by the achievement of your partner, or because they are talking their achievement, because they are spouses that do that, they talk their achievement, they compare you with other women. Oh, this person in my office, she can speak English like this, she handles meetings like this and stuff like that. Now I've had some situations like that before, and sometimes in our little corner I tell my husband, the problem is that these men attractive to them at work, but they don't know that those women will not be attractive to them at home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because this high flyer at work is not the type that will come back and say, this is your food, sir. Should I sit down here? They did not become that high flyer at work by the kind of environment you created for your own wife at home. So they can be very attractive outside there, but will they be the same have the same kind of attraction if they reside under your roof?
Hmm.
So I want to advise, if you're talking over you, if you're in a kind of relationship that you are feeling intimidated, you are feel because your husband or your wife is comparing you to somebody outside high there, please, if you can get that book, read it, Strength Finder. It talks about the various kind of strengths that there are. Some people just have the strength of organization. If that is your strength, can you capitalize on it, build a career on it, and enjoy your life and bless other people? Like my husband said, your career is not just about you earning money, it's also about how do you influence others. Bless other people with that strength. In fact, bless your spouse with that strength as well. Then he will understand your value, because it is because this person has not really seen so much of your value that is comparing you to some other people. That is for people who are in a relationship where they are being intimidated. Find yourself. Don't get lost in other people's achievements or other people's work. Find yourself. Who are you? What strengths do you have? What values do you have? And that is really going to help. Now, for people where you have these dreams and ambitions, but your spouse seems to be very contented with it, part of the advice I'm going to be is make them see what you see. For
Yes.
example, do you travel alone? You are going to Canada today, you are in US tomorrow, but your wife is in Oyo. You did not, she has not even traveled to Lagos. And you expect her to reason the way you are reasoning.
Yeah.
No, expose your spouse. It's there, and she's seeing other people's spouse, the way they are talking, the way they are comporting themselves.
Mm.
Seeing is believing, they say. Then she will also be like, I think I need to do something with myself. So when you are saying, will you register for this class? She's able to see the reason why you are doing it now. Because while both of you
Exactly.
are seated, she has seen so many other people with their spouse parading around, like the way people are contributing. I don't know. I cannot remember some of those examples of radio programs that people talk about in staff rooms again, and they don't even know what is going on in the world, or they are just watching African magic. Like, that is the big deal for them. And you subscribe for a magazine that fits on the kind of thing you want her to see. Even in the Bible, God had to bring Abraham out. Look up, see. So let her work with you. Don't just go to your company events alone. Don't just have time with your friends alone. Visit
Mm.
other people's family. Go and spend weekends with them. How they comport, how they handle their kitchen, how they do things, how they cook, how they organize. Now, when you expose your spouse, whether you like it or not, if there's no devil hiding somewhere, she will learn some lessons. She would see, or don't let me just capitalize on the woman. If it is the woman and the husband too, he will also see. He will see how some other men that you are you see and you long for are all socialize. Socialize with your wife, travel with her, surprise her with a trip to Dubai, surprise her with, like, I remember when I went to do my international passport, then my husband wanted us to go on an adventure that I thought was not profitable, because we are going to be spending maybe half a
Millions.
million or millions of naira to attend a wedding ceremony. So for me, I was thinking, only you should go. Just go by yourself. Like, I'm okay. If you buy something, bring it home. But let us not spend all of that money just because we wanted to go for a wedding. I didn't see why I wanted to go for that wedding.
Mm.
But it was like, okay, at least first do your passport. So I agreed to do my passport. And because I needed to do my passport urgently, we didn't know anybody in it. Like, they said it would be faster at Lagos. So I went to Lagos to do it. Now, where I was seated to do my passport, I saw a parent bring their baby. I don't know why they gave birth to that baby in Nigeria. But this baby has not even reached 8 days. And she's there to do passport,
Wow.
International.
international passport. I saw some grandmothers bring the grandchildren to renew their passport. And they have like four passports already stapled together. And these kids are how many years old? You see, just in making the port in a big city like Lagos,
Hmm.
at Festac, I saw so many things. I'm like, wow, so many people are traveling out of Nigeria like this. Where are they going? What are they going to do? What was an exposure for me?
Hmm.
So the bottom line of what I'm saying here is, your spouse.
Hmm.
If it is that this person is lethargic, she's just lazy, she just wants to be there, expose them appropriately. When you, it will help them. And when you say go back to school, for me, I love school. Whether you like school or not, when you see your spouse rising, your spouse does not even need to rise. If there is room to learn, learn. If there is room to learn something new, I've enrolled in a class before and I saw a 62-year-old man in the class. And I'm like, when for me, it's like, what are you still looking for after PhD? I'm looking at this man that is already 62 years old. How many years does he want to use this achievement? Like, if you pass this, how many years does he want to use it? So it is not too late to learn. It is not too late to go to school. Expose one another appropriately. Read why people's biography. Learn. There are so many things around us that will help us to solve this problem and communicate appropriately.
Um,
That's my addition.
I want to add to this. I want to add to what she said before the time goes finally. The Bible says, "Walk with the wise, and you will be wise." The wise may be younger in age to you. The wise may be older in age to you. We travel a lot. We visit friends. We visit younger friends. We visit older friends. In fact, I've even talked to the host before that we can visit them in Japan because we are thinking, oh, we can find a conference and that will bring us to Japan. And we always learn. If you remember the story of Solomon, and she observed everything, the way the servants of Solomon were dressed, the way they comport themselves, the way they were serving, kind of utensils that they were using, and all of those. So when you go to people's house, you learn one thing or the other because we operate in sync and we relate together. We agree on so many things. If you travel out like that, things that we have learned, we bring them to the table. This is how these people are doing their own thing. It's working for them. Can it also work for us? We evaluate. If it's not going to work for us in our situation and circumstances, we throw it aside. The ones that can work for us, we pick and we learn. You can learn from younger fellows and older fellows. You can learn from your mentors, post, learn what people are doing, and work in sync, work in agreement. It's not that my wife went to some people, or she saw some people in their offices, and they're like, "Oh, this is what is in vogue now. There's this kind of certification," and without even informing me, she just go ahead and she collected the form, and secretly she started doing training. That is not proper. Bring everything together as husband and wife. Sit down, analyze it together. Is it going to work for us? Reason about it, and then pursue it. And no matter your age, you still have the opportunity to do what you want to do. By the time myself and my wife had to do enroll for a PhD, we discovered that we need to sit down for GRE and IELTS. I've been lecturing in the university then for like about 7 years. And I decided that if this is the next thing, then we need to do it. Then we obtained the form. We both started studying for GRE and we sat down for the exam and we passed. And we enrolled in our program. So, no matter your age, no matter your level, be, have that mindset that we need to improve on ourselves. We need to move. We need to make progress. And God will help us.
Amen.
Amen. Wow, 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 wow. This is massive. This is, oh my God, this is wonderful. In fact, I can't describe how impactful and insightful this session has been. Thank you very much, sir and ma. Like the previous sessions we've had, this is also a great session. And wow, I pray the Lord continue to bless your home in Jesus' name. Yeah, to all our viewers out there, at this point, we'll have to be saying a goodbye to everyone that has joined this conversation. And if you will be watching the replay of this session, don't hesitate to say hello to us in the comment section. Tell us where you're watching from. Share your views. Share your thoughts. And if you have questions, also drop them in the comment section, or you can send the questions to our guest speakers. So on this note, we're bringing today's session to a close. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. For as many people that were able to join the session today, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay blessed, keep learning. Thank you. Till I come your wait. Right. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
nice
much, sir
weekend.
and ma.